turn you up. What's up, man? How are you, bro?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm awesome. You're the first guest on our new professional stream overlay.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, you got the whole Calendly going, and
What'd you think about the Calendly? It was smooth.
it's pretty smooth. Yeah. What would be really sick? I guess I was gonna say, like, usually for Calendly you have like a link to click on to join a stream or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's on Discord, so you don't really. It's not the same thing, but no, it's all good. It's pretty smooth.
Is there any way you could Yeah, I think your audio's a little quiet. I have you unmaxed.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
How's this?
Perfect. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks for coming on. I'm excited to talk to you today. There's actually a lot to cover. Macro shit is looking awesome. Good news.
Yeah.
Robinhood is awesome. There's a lot of stuff going on. I want to talk about Rekt though. You just did the drop at 7-Eleven collab that I just missed.
2 weeks ago.
In LA.
Yeah. The one time you're out of LA.
I know, the one fucking time I leave. I'm curious, I saw you make a tweet about this. How is the perception from these big traditional brands changed when you tell them you have a product with crypto?
So we had conversation. Well, we tried to reach out to people when we started 6 months ago. So this is before Trump got elected. It was before probably even before he was talking about all the Bitcoin stuff. And you speak to someone from the drinks industry or traditional investors and you're like, hey, we had this drink stuff going on. And by the way, we're a crypto project and there's going to be a coin and everything. And people are just nah, they're just
No way.
Crypto's a scam kind of thing. And it's literally a complete U-turn because now, obviously we have some of the sales numbers behind us. So they kind of have to look at it because they're like, oh, what the fuck? How are you selling so many drinks? But now I think because of Trump's crypto policies and you have David Sachs and the whole crypto task force and USA making a Bitcoin reserve, potentially looking at buying Bitcoin and other cryptos this year. It's a complete U-turn. Everyone's like, oh, fuck. Now you said crypto, I have to listen to it. You said crypto and it's successful, I have to listen to it because if I'm not, then I'm not doing my job properly because everyone's trying to figure out, what does crypto mean? How do we use it? How do we incorporate it into our brand or our company? What do we need to do? It's a massive thing now. So it's been a complete U-turn for us. And honestly, it's made a huge difference because now, when we spoke to the 7-Eleven guys and this drinks guy we were working with since last year, he was like, it's really hard to get these people switched on to what we're doing. But when we spoke to them again, a few weeks ago, they're like, oh shit, this is actually really, really interesting. We get it now. We understand it. Let's do this. So it's a huge change, I would say.
Are you now getting inbound from retailers, people like 7-Eleven that are have seen what you've done and they're like, yo, come sell in our stores?
Yeah, dude, we had a pretty big retailer in a state in the US.
Can you say what it is?
Reach out to us. Not yet. I can't say what it is yet.
Right,
not yet.
Not yet. Fine.
In due course. But they reached out to us through our contact form on our website. And it's just, and I was like, is this a scam? Is this legit? And then we ended up having a call with them and everything, and they're legit. But it's the weirdest thing. It's wow, how the hell did these people find us? Normally it's oh, I know a guy, or I know this guy, or you should meet my friend, or whatever. It's all connections, right? But someone reached out to us through our fucking contact form, and they're they've got thousands of stores in the state, in a couple of states. So. Yeah, we've had a lot of people reach out. We had a lot of middlemen type people reach out where it's oh, I can make an intro to this guy or I can do this. And, I'm a bit skeptical of that stuff because it's kind of usually people trying to get in without offering much value. But yeah, I think we, especially after 7-Eleven, we did, we've been hitting the media stuff quite hard and traditional press and that kind of stuff. So definitely getting a lot of incoming for sure.
Hey, a cold email from Costco is crazy. That's awesome. Hey, can I ask you? Let me ask this first. When was the first drinks drop? How long ago? A year?
October last year was the first one. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, eight months, something like that. 9 months, 6. I don't know, whatever. Ballpark.
Yeah, about 8 months ago, actually. Yeah.
Is it public? How much the company has made selling drinks? How much revenue you've done off of Rekt Drinks?
So we've sold about 700,000 drinks, 700,000 cans. Since October. A pack of 24 costs $69, so If anyone wants to, they can work it out. It's public information.
Whoa.
Like people can work it out if they really want to. We don't go around stating like the exact number, but
holy fuck, dude. That's insane. That is way more than I thought. That's way bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's legit. Yeah.
Whoa, that's a large. Someone just did it in the chat. That's a large number. That's wild. And so what is there some tie-in where you are like buying the Rekt token back with proceeds? That, and also how does like crypto claiming work with the drinks? Like I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically, we have spent some proceeds to buy back the Rekt token. So we bought back about 200k of the token, kind of like at the lows, really. Like that 200k we spent is now worth about 800 grand in our company treasury. So we kind of like we 4x'd it, which is kind of insane. But we don't have like a mechanical link right now where it says X% of revenues goes back towards buying the token. I think it's something that we can do in the future very easily. But right now we're kind of doing it on an ad hoc basis. And it's kind of like so many companies out there have like their own Bitcoin reserve and now they're having their ETH reserve. And I was like, oh, should we own Bitcoin or should we own some ETH? And I was like, well, fuck it. Why don't we just own some Rekt, because we're kind of, we're bullish on what we're doing. It's the same thing as when a company buys back its stock, and it has real value. Like that's a real asset on a balance sheet. So, so that's been good. And then in terms of being able to claim tokens, it depends how you do it really. Like if you buy drinks online, you earn points, and then at the end of the season you can convert your points. Your points convert into like a token claim. But when we did the 7-Eleven activations a couple of weeks ago, you got like a little coupon voucher, you scan it, takes you to a website, and then you just enter in the code. You scratch off a code, enter in the code, and then you claim the Rekt coin straight into your wallet through on Abstract Chain.
What was like the promo, like the billboard that you had? It was like spend $10.
It was like spend $10, get $100 back.
Dude, that's
it didn't
so
say.
good.
It didn't say that in order to get your actual $100, you have to buy ETH on Coinbase, send ETH to your wallet, bridge to Abstract, then sell it, then bridge back to ETH, then bridge back to Coinbase. Because we had like a couple of people walk up, a couple of normies bought the drinks, right? And they walk up to me and say, so how do I sell this? And I'm like, well...
Is there a better way to do that? That's awful, actually. That's so awful. Is there a better way to do that?
Not until you can like off-ramp directly from Abstract. I mean, we could have done it on Base, I guess, but even that, you can't off-ramp unless Rekt is listed on like one of these tier 1 exchanges. You can't off-ramp directly. So
why wouldn't
not yet?
Why wouldn't Base or Coinbase just list Rekt and then do activation with Base? That seems pretty obvious.
It would make a lot of sense. It would definitely make a lot of sense. Yeah, because we're on mainnet, but we have a big pool on Base. We have a big pool on Binance Smart Chain now. We're on Binance Alpha over the weekend, and then we have a big pool on Abstract, a big pool on Solana. So it's pretty liquid. But yeah, we're it's something that could hopefully happen one day.
Wait, so do you think any like normies actually made it all the way through, or no? Like, do you think a single
sell
person,
their tokens?
Do you think
I don't think any normie. I don't think any of them were able to sell their coin. But I told them, I was like, look, this thing's up 600% in the last 2 months because we're killing it. And I was like, if we continue to kill it, this thing could be worth a lot in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, or whatever. So I kind of sold them that story, and they were like, yeah, you know what? Like, I just spent $10. Fuck it. Why don't I just keep these coins, and maybe it'll be worth something, big in the future. And people hear all these stories. Normally hear all these stories about like, Bitcoin someone bought like 10 years ago, and now they're like a millionaire, or whatever. Like, they buy into it, and it's legit. Like, I'm really bullish on what we're doing, and someone could 10x that. That's grand, right? So, that was my pitch to them. I was like, you can sell it, but hear me out.
Dude, how did you get this token back to 125 mil? What was it? What were the lows? 10 mil?
The lows were about 15, I think. 13 mil was the absolute pico lows, I think. Like
you and Mando are just like experts at reviving like dead, like things that have drawn down 95%.
Yeah, I mean, the whole market drew down a lot, right? All lots came down, but it took us a long time to bounce back. Which is fine. I think, as usual, people, what people are like, man. Like, everything sells off. People start losing faith. They start losing hope. for us, I feel like we've done this, as you said, we've done this multiple times where we've kind of like brought things back from the dead. And the thing about Rekt is it wasn't dead. Like we had so much going on, we had a massive pipeline. And I think we were kind of intentionally a bit quiet. It was kind of like, well, you know, the whole market's down. Some people are like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Like, why are you doing this? You know, just the classic like self-entitled community type people. And I was like, you know what? Like, we'll just let these people lose hope and sell if they want to sell. That's fine. But at that point, we knew we had the collaboration with Abstract coming up. We had the collaboration with OpenSea coming up. We had a relatively decent idea of like, you know, the supermarket stuff we had coming up. So we just knew there was a lot going on, and we were just receiving so many inbound calls on it. Where I was like, man, this is like the amount of work we're putting into the versus like what the market cap is crazy right now. And some people, you know, some people trust it. You know, there's like a couple of guys who bought like massive size at the lows, and they still haven't sold it. They're still holding on to it. Yeah, and you know, there's definitely like a few people who are up 7 figures on this for sure.
Really?
In good size, yeah. And they're just chads. They're just holding it basically. So.
What percent do you have? Like this treasury you have?
So the treasury that we have earmarked for future rewards is 34% right now. So it's worth about $45 million. Yeah. Yeah. But no, but that. let me explain it this way. The last 2 drops we distributed about $1.2 million worth between them, and the token rallied like on both distributions, because of the way what tends to happen is when there's a new season, people kind of stop buying the token for a bit. They wait for these drinks and the rewards, they sell out, and then everyone just like buys back in basically. So I think we're conscious of like how to use that. You know, you can't have that whole thing come out within 1 year, right? Yeah. And the other thing is, let's say Rekt goes to $1 billion, that number becomes 340 mil, right? So then you can even but then you can even distribute a lower percentage of supply when you do these rewards. So it's kind of actually a good flywheel, because it's like drinks sell out, attention goes up, token goes up in price, our rewards pool goes higher, demand for drinks increases, we can distribute like a lower percentage of that rewards pool, and then just keep the whole thing going, keep the flywheel going basically. So that rewards will be volatile, it will move up and down based on the market, you know, like one day we'll have another bear market and it'll be back down. But that's definitely like a trust me bro on us to use it wisely, I guess.
I feel you've earned it though. Like you've earned
I hope so. I don't know.
Some level of goodwill at this point, right? All right, here's something I want to ask. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I hope so. That's what I was gonna say.
At least for me, fuck. I haven't sold my airdrop.
Nice.
I wish I fucking bought some, but whatever. I think you've tweeted about this a little bit, but I don't know. I think you would have as good of a take on this as anyone. Is like.
Yeah.
I would loop Rekt in with the whole like internet ICM thing, right? It kind of really, you guys really started popping off around similar time as Believe ecosystem as well. Like, how do you classify what the coin is in relation to the company? Like, this was like a big conversation with these Believe coins. It's like, what is it? It's like not equity. It's not really a meme coin. Is it like a new vehicle? Like how have you mentally formulated like what the coin is in relation to like the Rekt company? Like what do you hold?
Yeah, you know, we started out by calling it a meme coin. And the thing about meme coins is like, is Pepe a meme coin? Yeah, Pepe's a massive meme, right? Is Trump a meme coin? Well, yeah, it is, but it's like, is Trump a meme? I guess kind of, but you know, he's like a real person, right? Yeah. Mog is Mog a meme? Not really. It's like a culture thing, right? It's like a culture coin, whatever. So I think the thing about meme coins is they're not just memes, right? It defines coins that don't have any utility, and it defines coins that don't have any cash flows that go directly to them or don't generate cash flows. So for Rekt, I was like, well, yeah, like it's a meme coin because it doesn't have any utility or cash flows, but it's not really a meme, right? Like Rekt is a brand. We have this drinks company, and you know, people identify with that as a brand, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, you know, fuck it, why don't we just make this thing and call it a brand coin? And it kind of makes sense when you think about it, right? Like, let's say think about you find a challenger brand or a startup brand, like a cool clothing company. You're like, cool, how do I support this brand? Well, I'm going to buy its products. And let's say in the next 5 years, the brand completely crushes it and takes off. You played a strong part in buying its product, telling your mates about it, you know, you're posting it on your socials, sending links and all that kind of stuff. But how did you benefit from it when they killed it in 5 years? You didn't really, other than having some bragging rights from the early days. Now let's say you buy a Rekt drink, you buy the drinks, you earn some of this coin, you start telling all your friends about it, etc., and then we kill it in 5 years' time, and you hold on to your coin. Will the coin be higher or lower in value? It probably will be higher because it moves on the sentiment of the underlying brand, and then you've kind of been rewarded for what you've done for the brand, right? So, I think consume to earn is not a new thing. There's been tons of like fucking walk to earn, all this, vape to earn, all this kind of stuff. But the problem with all of that is like they were for brands and communities that didn't exist until the coin came. So it only attracted people who wanted to just flip until it goes to zero, and then it's kind of like dead. Whereas for us, it's like, Rekt has been around for 4 years almost, and we've had this like loyal, very diehard cult-like community. So having a brand coin to underpin that actually makes sense because people, the existing community, want to hold it and they want to champion it and they want to push it. And remember, like we gifted equity to our community as well in the actual company, Rekt Brands Inc. So some of these guys also own equity as well. So they're just like super turbocharged marketers. And that's what I think is different about what we're doing. And that's why our version of consume to earn, which we're calling brand coin, I think works a lot better. The other thing is like when a company buys another company, when you have an acquisition, right? The company has a value, has a net asset value, which is like the net value of all its assets minus liabilities. When it gets acquired, the acquirer usually pays a premium for it. So let's say the net asset value of a company is $100 million. Coca-Cola buys it for $200 million. They paid a premium of $100 million. And that premium is usually considered to be like the brand value, the intangible value. And that actually ends up being an intangible line item on Coca-Cola's balance sheet. That's a real accounting thing. That's like proper old school traditional corporate finance. Like there's nothing crazy about that, right? The thing about that number though is it's completely intangible, it's untradeable, it's on your balance sheet, and it's a number that's basically governed and made up by two people or a small group of people agreeing on a one-off transaction at some point in the history of time. That's it. Like super liquid, super intangible. But this is like I said, proper traditional corporate finance. So with our coin, the way that I view it is it's a brand coin. It's actually you can view it as the intangible value of the brand, except because it's in crypto, you can trade it. There's actually a real market for it. You can buy it, you can sell it, you can short it. There's millions of dollars of volume every single day. But this is something that doesn't own the IP. It doesn't have, any cash flows or anything like that. It's not equity. It's just this intangible thing, but it's the brand value of what we're doing. So my view is like, I think this is like a new age of finance. And I think as the crypto world in the US has better regulation and becomes champion more and more accepted, this is a way to like make stuff liquid, which previously wasn't liquid. And actually it's better than the traditional corporate finance thing because it's you can trade it. If you think Rekt is overvalued $100 million, you can go out there today and short it. Like it's a free market, right? But no one's doing it because like they actually don't want to put their money where their mouth is if they think that, right? So that's what I think is more powerful. And kind of like, obviously we've seen all this like Robinhood stuff today and like tokenized equities. Like it's a similar thing. Like I think this idea of we've seen tokenization of stupid shit like celebrities and meme coins and pump and dumps, but I think we're about to see an era of the tokenization of interesting, cool shit that isn't liquid right now, but could be liquid and could have a market for it. And this, I think, is one example of it, basically.
Damn, that's a sick... Have you wrote a lot about this? Like, I've seen you tweet about it a couple times.
Yeah, so I've tweeted a lot about it. What I'm doing right now is I'm writing up a light paper for Rektcoin.
You really should do that, yeah. That was a sick answer. It sort of paints a new perspective on like... the narrative needs framing help, I feel. Not your narrative, but just like in general, the whole like concept of like ICM brand coins like needs framing work.
It needs framing work, and it needs people to think it's not a scam, and it needs people to understand the value. But I've been like posting. This is kind of weird, but I've been posting a lot on LinkedIn, and I've had all these guys that like I used to work with who are like reply guying me on LinkedIn, being like, "This is I'd rather own equity than this, or this is a scam, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. You have some private equity investments. Can you sell them right? Can you sell 10% of your investment right now?" And they're like, no, whatever. So I think that's when you bring up these examples, it's like that's when people start to understand. It's like, oh, okay, like I get it now. And at the end of the day, like whether you love or hate crypto, think it's a scam. It's a fucking free market. Anyone can buy it. Anyone can sell it. It's decentralized. Anyone can short it. So, like if enough people hate it, then they should be going out there shorting it or selling it, and they're not. So you have to understand, like, yeah, you may think it's a scam, you may think there's no intrinsic value, but markets are markets, and they're just made up of buyers and sellers. So if you can tell a good story and prove it, then you will have longevity in what you're doing. So I think it's going to be interesting because there are a lot of skeptics out there, but they don't really have a choice now because of the way crypto is going in the US. Like, you can't sit there and be crypto skeptic in the US now because you're gonna miss out on everything.
You're just gonna get. It's like if you don't own any Bitcoin, it's just gonna be like a rough decade. Like it's just gonna be a tough to predict. It's just gonna be tough to like exist in finance and not have crypto.
Yeah, you know what? Remember like in 2021 when people like the metaverse is the next big thing, and like every brand had like their Web3 thing, and they ended up just being completely bullshit. Like that kind of was a scam. Like no one was gonna just fucking sit at home in their VR headset and stuff, right? But this is not a scam, in my opinion, because it's real money that people are making. And at the end of the day, we have a 7-figure drinks revenue business that we've built from literally nothing in less than 12 months. Like there's with a $45 million marketing budget, technically speaking. So there's no way there's no way anyone can do this without Web3, right? It's sort of like what Meow and Jupiter talks about, like this creation of money idea, which is what he's calling Web 4. And I believe in that. Like I believe in this idea of social currency. I believe that money doesn't need to be created by governments or institutions. Anyone can create something that has value. And if enough people believe in it, then the value of it goes higher. Like it's just a very simple concept. So I think we're moving into that era. You have to find a way to like regulate it in a way, but it unlocks a lot of value for a lot of companies. But I think mainly people who are like crypto native and startups. Like if Coca-Cola did this, like no one would want to buy it, right? Because they're like, well, this is a fucking cash grab. Why does Coca-Cola need to have a token? It doesn't. But people want to buy crypto native and crypto born projects, I think, that are trying to do something different, or trying to push against the bigger guys, basically.
You kind of got me fired up. I'm not gonna lie. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this one. What do you think is the key to making a crypto product work, or a product that has crypto work? Because I don't know, it hasn't really worked yet. Like no clothing, people have tried. I love G Money, 90cc, they shut down. Like it hasn't like really worked. And I say this with so much love. I've been a fan of you guys for a while. I didn't really think you guys would be like the ones to do it.
That's fair.
If I had to bet 3-4 years ago, if it was a casino or a perp dex or something, I'd be like, oh yeah. But the drink product, like that was not my number one bet at all.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, you're not like most people didn't like. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You have zero experience in CPG, zero experience in drinks. Like, drinks are super competitive and saturated. And to be honest with you, like when we started it, I was just like, it's kind of like fuck around and find out kind of thing, right? I was like, let's just do it and see what happens. And then I don't know, we had some really strong success, and then we really pushed it. But I think you need to have a good product. You need to have something that people like. And I do think, like, all the crypto stuff aside, I do think we have a good drink. Like it's like something that people enjoy drinking. And when we've done this traditional stuff and we sent it to supermarkets and had conversations with distributors and that kind of stuff, like all these guys love the drink. I don't know if it's because of the branding. I don't know if it's because we're telling a good story, but people actually genuinely like the product. I'm obviously biased, but I've got tons of them at home and I just drink them every day. So I think you need to have a good product in a market that needs something. Mm-hmm. And I think the most important thing is you need to have a good community that already exists, and you need to do right by your community. And I think where people have fucked up, stuff like Moonbirds and other projects that raise at like crazy valuations, they ended up like trying to extort their community, and rather than they transform their community into consumers rather than like keeping them as community or stakeholders, which is what Web3 I think is about. And that's where I think projects have gone wrong. Like they've just been myopic, That's why I think this is working, because we haven't rushed it. We could have blown our load in 2021 or whatever, but we've just taken our time, and I think built this thing over time. So I think that's one of the main reasons, I would say.
Do you have any collabs in the pipeline with an individual person?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we do.
It's kind of interesting, right?
We may have with an individual person. We do have some collabs coming up with some pretty big crypto platforms, I would say. Like Abstract was pretty big, OpenSea was big, Jupiter was big. Jupiter thing, we had to turn that around in a few days because Meow just like texted. He's like, hey, yo, call me. I called him. He's like, right, we
I
want
need
to
it
do
right
this,
now.
this.
Need it
Yeah,
today.
do it right now. I was like, fuck. But yeah, we have some pretty big ones coming up, I would say. All in good time. All in good time.
Fuck yeah. Hey, the timing of this is kind of funny too. Like, how closely do you follow non-crypto competitors? Like, Liquid Death is like kind of unraveling. Are you following this?
Yeah, a lot of people have been sending me shit on it, which is kind of funny to watch. But yeah, we're on top of all that stuff now because we have. I mean, we started off with like just a team of 3, like all crypto people, and then we have a couple of other guys we're working with now who are drinks people. Like one guy, both of them actually. One of them founded a 7-figure revenue drinks company in the UK, and he's going to join us full time. And then the other guy has about 20 years experience in drinks, founded and sold an energy drink company in Southern California. He got us the 7-Eleven stuff and a couple of other stuff that we have coming up. So these guys are all over like the drinks industry. They're always sending me shit like, have you seen this, or have you seen the shit that's going on with Liquid Death? But yeah, it's pretty interesting it's kind of actually cool to follow something outside of crypto now, I think.
Yeah, facts.
But it's
like a little escape.
It's a very different world. It's a very different world, I have to say. Very different world.
All right, this is the last thing I want to ask you before I'm doing these 30-minute slots. I don't know how it works yet. I would have to bring you back for some macro stuff at some point. I'm actually gonna call Mando after you. We could have just done a double, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like since I've known you, every like 6 months or like year, whatever, you just like go on some new like reinvention crazy arc, and it's like now you're a trader, now you're an artist, now you like make drink. Like, do you just like I don't know, how do you do it? You just like wake up and you're like, fuck it, we're doing drinks now. Like I'm an artist now, and it's done proper. Like, what is the I don't know. How do you do that? Like, how do you do that?
I don't know. I think this is different. Yeah, I think that's true. Like I've generally like, since I left banking, I've kind of like done a few random things, right? But I guess I've always traded stuff in that time, but
Yeah.
kind of like moved to different things. I think this is different. Like compared to the other stuff, there's a big feeling in myself and our team, and I think even the community, that this is what we're onto right now is different and it's like a much bigger opportunity. I think they're also all related, you know, like this all comes from Rekt Drinks. It all comes from the art. Like that, this community are all people who collected the art. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I could just sit here and keep banging out artwork, and that's fine. And you know, like massive respect to everyone who's stuck around with doing it. But for me, it's like I just need to push boundaries. Like if I'm not pushing boundaries and not pushing my own personal boundaries and personal challenges, then I get demotivated, and I just think, fuck, I've got to do something, right? But what I would say is that every time we've changed or pivoted or whatever, we've always brought along like the original community, and everyone is like in this whole ride. So remember, like some of these guys are people who fucking minted degens from back in the day, right? So, and now they're suddenly their own private equity in a drinks company. You know what I mean? So, like everyone is, I'm never going to do something where it doesn't involve or include the whole community. But I think what we're on now, the upside of it is just like way bigger than the upside was if I was an artist or whatever. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of stakeholders in it that I think could benefit from it, and we are getting attention from like, you know, massive names and massive like corporations, that kind of stuff. So I just know, like, you know, I was at Barclays for 10 years. And I was like, this is a massive opportunity. I'm a trader. I can do this for 10 years, do really well at it. And I spent 10 years doing the same fucking thing. So I think this is like the next version of that. I spent, I guess, like 3 or 4 years kind of fucking around, and now we've come to this position where I'm like, shit, I think this is like the one. This is where I have to go all in. And I have stopped trenches. I've stopped trading. I don't do anything else. All I'm doing is just like fully focused and locked in on Rekt right now. And I would think, you know, whether I'm successful at it or not, like who knows? But I think this is the best opportunity I will ever have in my life to make a unicorn, make $1 billion company. It's probably, you know, you don't get those opportunities every single day, right? Or every single year or every single life. But this has the foundations of it, and it's something cool. So I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't go all in on it, basically. And then we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do really well. Maybe I'll fuck it up. I don't really know. But I'm all in on it, basically.
Oh, that was lit. Also, I left out like semi-pro boxer in your explanation. Like, dude, you do a lot. You do a lot. It's sick.
Yeah, I haven't. I'd love to fight again, but I need to figure that out. Not enough time to train right now. One day.
Hey, are you
One
selling
day I'll be back.
those little figurines in the back? What's up with those?
So I'm not, but someone from our community, Abs, he does sell them. He made them for me. But they're pretty sick. They're like
Oh, I want to buy one.
3D
I'm trying to
printers,
like
so he
fill
gave
out
me a couple.
some walls in the back. I need to buy it. Send me a link if he's still selling.
yeah. We need to send you more drinks, man.
Yeah, I guess I have a new address to send you. I can fucking throw some in the back.
Yeah. Send me your address. We'll send
Sick.
you. We've got 3 flavors now, so we'll send you a bunch of drinks.
That's awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming on. You're the GOAT.
Anytime, man.
I'm gonna maybe next week we could do another 30-minute on like more like market stuff. But this is sick.
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
All
Anytime.
right, bud. You're the man, dude. Talk soon.
All right. Peace.
Peace.